than, Jeremy is the one with that information. I don't have the fine details. Basically what I do with it is I do the work. I help design the graphics, I help develop the commercials, as far as the contracts and all that, I am personally not involved, so I wouldn't want to speak on it.
The last agreement that I remember was from 2007. And it's a 2007, well, they were just hired, was it 2007, 2017, it's a 7 in the number, but they were hired because the reason, it matters when it was, but it's an old contract, it's not like renewed every year like that. What happened was some people had been abusing the monies under A&P. For example, if I say I need $1,000 to advertise, I get the $1,000, I may do $200 of advertisement and use the rest of it to buy the trophies for my program. That was illegal. And so the reason A&P was given the whole contract for the whole thing was because it was trusted that they could watch one person with the money. But I don't know exactly the date, but I saw something recently that said when this deal was made.
Are you asking when JC Productions took over the contract for A&P?
Is that what you're asking? Yes. Because that shifts us from just talking about this.
I don't see how this affects the website.
Well, I'm asking, James, is your contract a yearly contract, or is it a 5-year contract, or have you just been doing this from day one and you guys are under contract to eternity?
We're not, I promise you, we're not under contract to eternity. To answer that, and I would want to check with Jeremy before you held my feet to the fire on it, but it is a yearly contract that the A&P renews at their leisure.
And one last question, and I'll be done. Now, you mentioned that A&P paid you guys.
It's part of our marketing contract to keep that page updated.
They pay you guys to update the event portion.
Yes. Well, we receive a marketing retainer. It's a flat fee, whether there's one event or 5 events that month.
Okay.
It's a flat fee.
Okay.
And that includes, part of that fee, and it's not a lot, part of that fee is to update that page. That's one of the responsibilities for getting that fee.
Okay, so you all designed the web page, right?
Yes.
Okay, and A&P is paying you on the side to keep the event page up. Only. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so if they're paying you to keep the event tab up, why can't you cover the whole website and keep it updated?
I mean, if the city wants to have a contract with us, they're more than welcome to bring that up, but it's...
So you just got a contract with A&P and not the city?
Exactly.
Yes.
And we're the one that does A&P.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
I got a couple questions. Well, you answered my question. Because I looked into this a long time ago, and I knew the contract is not with him. It's with A&P. A&P dictates that money is being spent with him. That's when I brought it up a long time ago, remember, that it didn't seem right. Because I worked with some organizations that went to the A&P and got money, and they said that they had to spend the money with them. And I didn't understand why. You know, I got an event. You've appropriated money to me, but you tell me how to spend it. Now, I can understand I need to spend it in a manner to where I can show where I spent it and did it fit the criteria for what I'm doing. But as far as advertising, it was telling us that if we didn't spend it with him, I had a problem with that. Because there are a lot of people that advertise. And we wanted to go with a lower bidder, in a sense. But from the information I got from sitting in, they said, no, all advertising goes through him.
It doesn't go through me.
I'm saying, you were doing production there.
Right.
That's what we were told. And it wasn't a problem that it was them, it was just that you was limiting me to how much I had to spend with them because of the contract with A&P.
Can I just, I'm sorry, can
Yes,
I
sir.
just make a point of order that has nothing to do with the resolution being addressed currently?
I understand, but this is an issue that I dealt with years ago and I never got it resolved.
It still has
Well,
nothing to do with this.
in a meeting like this, I am told that because he's an elected official, he can say it, so.
I mean,
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. And I understand, and that's what I wanted Mr. Eskew to understand, that the issue wasn't with the city contracting with you.
right.
It was with A&P.
Well, first of all, Marvin, I understood. I'm just getting clarity.
That's clarity.
I'm just getting clarity.
But I'm still at odds. And one other thing was that I think we need to verify how long is the contract and what is the extension of the contract. I've never been on that board. Is it a yearly contract? Is it a bi-yearly? I'd like to know some in-depth information about what is the time frame on it.
Well, Ms. Galbert is on the A&P, and she's at most meetings I've ever been to. I'm sure she'd be willing to indulge some information.
Does somebody else want to be on?
Let me, before we pass it to you, I told Mr. Lindsay, Alderman Lindsay, I was gonna let him speak next. So just before we throw it to her, let me make sure we satisfy him. I just pulled up the budget, the 2020 budget, and, I don't know that I'm reading it exactly, like I should. But I see, one line that says 90,000. But this is not this, but this is the budget part. And I can print this out to you when we, I can print it out to you and have a copy ready for you tomorrow. But there is a part that says JC for function, then there's another part, and I don't know how much of it is actual. This was just the 2020 budget, and at the very bottom, the last number is 90,000.
And that all goes to, Mr. Alwood just mentioned something that we've asked, I know in the last 3 years, for boards to bring a report to this board. But we haven't gotten it. If we get the reports, we know what we're dealing with. Because you come in here, you bring whatever you got, and you want us to sign off on it. And I know, I had somebody ask me one day, and it bothered me, but then I got over it, you know. Why you ask so many questions? If I don't know, you understand what I'm saying? That's the worst thing I can do, is be the voice for some people, and I'm making a decision and voting, and I don't know what I'm voting about. I just want to know the truth. Then we'll make a conscious decision on what we need to do to benefit this city. Because right now, we need to come together and get, it's, you know, and I'm going to be through in a minute, Mr. Mayor. We've just opened back up at my job, and I'm negotiating contracts with different people, boiler people, service people, pump people, and everything. And don't get me wrong, it's in every form of business now. Everybody been out of business for a few months. Comp went from $5,000 to $25,000. Because everybody trying to accumulate the money they lost. And they want to get business caught back up, I understand. And some people you have to tell no. And then they know it. You understand what I'm saying? But it's business. I have the best interests of the man that I work for at heart. I want a quality product, but I want it at a reasonable price. And that's business. But I've gotten some say, well, you know, I've been doing business with you for 20 years, and we've been doing business wrong with you. So we're going to start doing it right. Now, when he tells me not to, then you understand that's his checkbook. But when he put me in charge of it, it's my checkbook. And we're going to get a quality product for a reasonable price. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Alderman Lindsay.
Well, I guess a couple things. Number one, we don't directly oversee the A&P commission.
No, sir.
It's a separate contract between OPEB and A&P. They're doing what we're talking there with Jason. We're just kind of were piggybacking off of what you were doing for them, I guess, that you opened it up and said, here's something to use if you want to use it. That's the way I'm seeing it. Of the website that you designed, that the city could administer if they wanted to. Apparently,
It was designed, when we were hired to build the site, one of the qualifications, one of the requirements was that the city officials, city personnel would have the ability to log in as admins and administer, and update the site as needed for changes, and that way.
But it was on us to do it.
It's on the city. It's on the city administration.
That's my point.
Yes.
That's on us. You provided it there, and use it or lose it.
Yeah.
Now, we just paid a pretty good chunk of money to get online records. So was that what Don, was that? Was you?
And there is a link to all the.
So that the things we pass, that all our public documents are going to be available to the website. Okay.
There is a link on the government page right at the top.
Yeah.
To that page, yes.
So, I'm just thinking there's enough confusion about what we're doing here. I'm gonna say, well, let's table this thing. Everybody if you've got a question about what is being done, shoot it to the mayor, Don, or whatever, get it up here, and maybe we can get answers to those questions at our next meeting.
Well, and I'm in agreement with you, Mr. Lindsay, but we can't keep kicking the can down the road. If we're spending this money and not getting provided
We're not
with the
spending it, there's nothing in our budget for this, and that's what I was gonna say was, if we want to, because back when Clubacre was here, I hammered on it for years, just to say, other little old towns have their meetings live on their local TV channels. I couldn't understand why we couldn't, and we did for a few months, and then we didn't anymore. I never did.
But Mr. Lindsay, I saw
We
you-
can make that part of this package if we want to.
I saw you argue the same thing that I'm arguing. When you had a specific issue, you want to put some money into it.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that.
Right.
Okay, I'm doing the same
So
thing.
this doesn't have anything to budget, but we'll be doing a next year's budget. And
Yes, sir.
if we want to do something with it, we can.
But we need to sit and do some negotiation with all of these committees. Because that's taxpayer money. When I go buy a burger for the group, that's taxpayer money. And we should have some say-so about how it's being spent, or some suggestions.
Well, that's why.
But don't put me in a box and say, I gotta buy my hamburgers here.
That's why we got two people from the city council, I think it's two appointees on the A&P commission.
Okay.
To do that and keep us informed and let us know and voice our objections or recommendations.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, let me address Ms. Williams. I think where she got confused, thinking that we're spending $20,000 a year on the website, was when she looked at A&P's budget and saw what they were paying them a year. And I think it just kind of clicked in her brain that
But that's still taxpayer money.
you're right, but that's for everything that JC Productions does for the city for the year, not just the website. All right, I wanted to clear that up first.
But that's not true there, is it? That's not everything that they get. I have a copy of the budget, I have a copy of the budget here.
I'm not sure exactly what our actual, that we get. Jeremy is the one who handles that. I will say that it's somewhere in that neighborhood, but that also covers all the airtime we buy, every ad we buy, billboards, newspaper ads, radio ads, which of that, we keep pretty much nothing. So that's just,
Yes, sir. I apologize for
That's
interrupting.
fine. Clarity is clear. The other thing I wanted to mention is our answer may well be sitting right in front of us. 2 months ago, we bought Unicode, and they offer a full website service that we could
There are choices out there.
buy into. If we're unhappy with the product we have, there's certainly other companies that would love to have our business.
Yes, sir. So let me, thank you. This is premature, but I do want to ask that if we could, because I keep getting in trouble for the lack of minutes in certain areas with the auditors. Could we start telling each of our groups to put those minutes in, and then could we include all the minutes from our meetings in our packets when we come together?
No, that would be.
Can we make sure that all minutes are given this rose from every group and they're put together in these packets that we're
I asked
getting?
them, but I only do them for one group, and I'll be happy to.
Oh, no. Okay, so whose responsibility would it be to collect the minutes from the meetings? It wouldn't go.
They should be sending them here.
Okay, so it should come to the clerk.
They should be sending.
Would you apply the right amount of pressure to ask them to at least turn in those, so we can have it? And I was asking the wrong person. So if we could have those minutes in here, when we come to a meeting like this, all of us would have the same information at one time because we would have had time to look over. So we're calling out different facts, and some of us are arguing things that we can't prove sitting here without paperwork. I just so happened to brought in my computer tonight, and I was able to pull up an actual copy of Budget 2020. But that's rare. I don't normally even bring my computer in. So we know that A&P prison gets around the 90,000. We don't know how much more, but that they make on other contracts or other services. And the question we would ask is, who pays our present domain fee? The .gov is what belongs to the city, according to what I understand now. The .gov, but you own Explore Camden, so if we lost, if you're maintaining that, what happens if that domain fee is missed, or if we no longer retain your services? Do we get to pick up that particular domain, or how do you protect that domain? These are questions that I want to know as we go further. How do we protect it from being lost? And then who retains the right and control if we don't employ JC Productions to explore Camden after that? And I believe, based on what we're discussing now, even if we go further and keep them, I think that we would at least want to consider asking that they open for bids, for that A&P open for bids, and allow some others in the community to bid on some of those, on some of that job, and not just lock ourselves in the JC Production, which, because of how much footage and video they had when I first came in, they already had so much footage, and whenever they got to do an event, they could always pull from the event the years before, because they had the drones and other things. But a lot of people are taking some good pictures, and now it may be a little more competitive. And instead of 90,000 plus, we could probably get it to 70,000 plus or 50,000. I don't know what the check. We don't know, because we just need to rebid and reconsider that process. Earlier, it may have been suggested that we table this until we get more answers. But those are some of the questions that I would like to have answered as we proceed. You know, how much is it above the 90,000? Who pays that domain fee? Do we own that? And what happens if the fee is missed? How do you guys protect that domain from being lost if we choose not to keep your services? Do we get to will it switch over to us? Who retains the rights and control to explore Camden? And I think that those would be some things that I would want to see answered if we table tonight to get ready to move forward.
That's fine, but can I just say that has nothing to do with this resolution that's before the council.
Okay.
This has nothing, this is just that we're gonna post the budget on the website.
But who's on the postal bill?
The city.
Who is the city? What I'm
You're
saying
the
is,
city. You're the mayor, you're the office. You help.
He has said you're right, he doesn't want to
Tell somebody to do it.
what I'm saying to you is, the word shall is there. And I know
Would
that
you like it if it was changed to will?
Okay, I would like it to be taught. All right, so what I'm asking now, sir, I'm asking you to consider the fact that this particular web domain, because we don't have an IT person, when we make this type of commitment, it locks me into a place that I can't live without of.
It is said the official city website. Right now, it's Explore Camden. It could be camden.ar.gov if the city chooses. It's whatever the city chooses as its official website.
Yes, sir.
So I don't see how this is an issue.
Okay, if I may, Mr. Mayor. So,
And I want to make something clear, I'm going to abstain from this bid just for any, I'm sorry, not bid, vote for any, just so no one can, in any way try to say, granted, the city does not pay J.C. Productions
Yes.
at all for maintaining the site. We have not received a dime from the city for the maintenance of this site, ever.
okay.
When it was first developed, they paid us to develop the site. But that was it. It did not cover any maintenance. We have at times freely given our time and expertise for technical support and to answer questions on how to do things. That was donated time. So I just want to make that absolutely clear.
Yes, sir.
And my question, I understand what you're saying, but my question is that at any time, this board can table whatever we want to table.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I need advisement, is there a motion to table or what?
There was a motion to table.
There was a motion to table and a second.
Mr. Lindsay made motion.
Second. There's been motion and second, ready for discussion. Those in favor, use the voting sign of aye. Those opposed, use the voting sign of no. Ayes have it again. Now, we have one more, item before closing, and that is other business. I guess I'll take advantage of this opportunity to say, people bet on us every week since we didn't have every month. Since we didn't have the one thing on the agenda. I was trying my best to keep it on the line. What was it? Go ahead, sir.
I just have a couple of things. The guys from Public Works came over and did some work at Altar Park in that field. They had some excellent tournaments over there in the past month. I was real proud of it. I got a lot of feedback from the community. People were asking, what's going on at the park down there now? So why they're playing ball down there once again? This is something went on years ago. And I want to commend them because they did their best to stay social distance. It wasn't something that they just went out there and did. They were doing their best. I think they had a great time, had good turnouts. I like to see a lot of people in the parks. We have to do it different. This is the new norm. It's not going away. But we have to do the best we can to keep one another safe. But we had a great time down there. I hung out there as much as I could. I can't do the hot sun no more. But I just wanted to commend them. They worked on that field diligently. I thought they were out there day and night sometime. But they got it up, got it ready because the field had been not neglected, but we just got away from it for a long time. And that field was just there not being used. And I just wanted to tell them they did a good job.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, just a minute. You may have noticed tonight that we're without one of our sidekicks over here. Mr. Director Franklin is out. Someone tested positive, and we had to have some tests given on Monday. And for our safety, he chose not to show up tonight until things are done. He wants me to make this announcement for him. I have Charles Foote set up to do 2 streets per ward starting the first week in September. We gave him your phone numbers and some of your emails that were available, but we didn't have proper contacts on some people. He didn't get a return call. And as a result of that, he's asking that all the person would now contact him. Please make it your business to contact him.
Him being Franklin or Foote?
Franklin. Contact Franklin for the 2 streets in your ward that you would like to see done. As we expand, we're going to go to where the needs are, but right now we're trying to spread it a little bit, so we're asking he's asking for the 2 streets. Also, we had a young man to retire, and as a result, and then we had a wreck with our truck. So we're down to 1 truck, 2 drivers. And so we're having a problem picking up and getting some of the trash in a timely fashion. And Director Franklin is doing some hiring right now. to try to get some things done, but just understand when your constituents call, we're doing the best that we can to try to rectify as much of this as we can. But the CDL license is a requirement, so we can't just put somebody in the truck just because they work for us. It's taking a little more time than normal. Yes, sir, Mr. Lynch.
Well, I was gonna ask about, I was gonna mention about that email Mr. Franklin sent out. And I was curious about this now. You know, it was last fall that we took bids and authorized or appropriated so much money for a bunch of streets, this, that, and the other. We had I still got my little chart there. Now, I'm guessing a year later, he's not gonna hold the same price, so we're gonna have to rebid this, or is he holding for the same price? You know, some of it was asphalt, some of it was chip seal.
Right.
We learned that some of it that we thought was chip seal can't be chip seal. Some of our roads are well past just with patching. So it will not stretch as far as we thought it would because, and we put extra money in there, but some of our roads are way past that.
Well, the point I'm getting to, I'm saying, pick out two streets you want to do. Do I get to pick asphalt or chip seal? Or I mean, that's what it gets down to is, you can get a mile of chip seal for 100 yards of asphalt. So I don't know what.
In our original discussion, we discussed what we wanted as far as chip seal and asphalt. So quite naturally, I'm like, Mr. Lindsay, I assume that I'm gonna get my asphalt. So, I picked my two best ones that I want the asphalt on. But I'm like you and I discussed at that first meeting when we talked about it. We have to prioritize what we got in our neighborhoods right now. And I got some that has never had anything. Never had anything on it. And not that I'm catering to a certain group or anybody, I'm catering to a certain street. Because some are in such bad shape, when I said it, I'd take anything. But I need to try and do something for some that I don't have anything there. They're cracking up, they're breaking apart, whatever. So, yeah, I'm gonna give them my due attention. Those are the ones I'm doing.
All right, so the first week in September is when they're going to get kicked off. Please make your call before Friday. Now, I want to ask the community, I guess, for a little more patience with us. I have a copy of the letter, and I was going to get here in time enough to run you guys a copy of it. But I have a letter that where many of us went to the meeting where UCA came in and asked us, what kind of town does Camden want to be? Do you want to be a sleeper town? Do you want to be a sleeper town, a retirement town, blah, blah. And we agreed that we wanted to be more progressive. So I have letters in my office right now of people who know people who don't want to support me anymore because we can't stop the train from blowing the horn going through town. I think the train blowing the horn would tell people that a train is on the track headed in that direction. Number two, same letter, a complaint is that these 18-wheelers coming through town may not have brakes on. And so they don't want these people coming through the city. I'll give you a copy of the letter. Some of it, I mean, I know, but that is what it says. Number three, the pile that's coming in on 278, where you see those rocks stacked up there, the complaint is that they don't want those rocks sitting there while we're trying to fix the streets. I need the community to practice a little bit more patience because progress demands change.
Yes.
If we're progressing as a city, 18 wheelers coming through our cities is going to be a good sign for business. You want that 18-wheeler to not only stop and drop off stuff, but you want him to want to take a shower, you want him to stay at night, you want him to eat some food. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. When you see those rocks over there, don't be mad because it ain't on your street yet. If you give us time and spend a little more money in town, it won't be long before we'll make it to your community. But we just need a little more patience. It's futile to keep working and trying so hard, and you keep feeling like you're fighting a group of people, And then, of course, everybody threatens me with votes. It wasn't my election year, not my election year, but they threatened me by saying, I got a bunch of people with me, and these 18 years come to, we don't want to have breaks. So I don't either, but I'm gonna move out of the way. If I see 18 years. I don't know how to respond to some of the letters that I'm getting, and it has, the minutia sometimes has me sitting there saying, I don't know how to respond properly, because to me, what looks like progress is a pain to somebody else. And if I didn't like seeing those rocks, I would just cut off at the Y and go outward, but there are people who write me like that all the time. And I would like for the community to exercise just a little more patience with us as we're trying to find our way, trying to find our niche as a community, and see what we can do well. Were you going to say something, Mr. Lee?
About the train?
I had a funny story I'd almost like to tell. I did want to ask if Mr. Franklin had been here. I've noticed on Washington Street, right in the middle of town, you know, as they were going to do Adams Avenue, do the paving, they put up those big signs, works over the head. They've been through for, 3 weeks now, and the sign is still, somebody ran over one of them, and I just, now, they're not our things, but I'm trying to think, that's the highway state want to come pick those up, maybe we could send them a note or make a phone call to them, and say,
Or just collect them when they want them to come here.
Actually, those were put out when they began going further down, and they have to remain out until they're done. I did kind of call Jet Asphalt and asked them to please pick it up. Instead, they just kicked it off the sidewalk, so I will be picking that up on Washington today and dropping it off at the Jet Asphalt group tomorrow morning.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be addressing that.
Well done.
So a lot of things are going on in our community, but I want to remind us that we're trying to revitalize the Keep Camden Beautiful Commission. So last night we had a meeting. We got a lot of great ideas from our community. And so they'll be getting kicked off really, really, really soon. It took a lot to get those credentials to be considered will keep America beautiful. And we're subject to losing that if we don't turn in paperwork and get back to work right away. We're behind the 8 ball on that. So tomorrow night at 6 o'clock and at 7 o'clock, we're doing a Zoom call for a youth council to start teaching some of our younger people how to prepare for government. And I'd love for some of you who can and will come on the call to help us. It'll just be 1 hour, because at 7 o'clock, I'll be doing the senior advisory board meeting for some of the older generation. The Bible says old men are for wisdom, young men are for war. So a lot of old people have been offering us a lot of advice. I'd like to put some of that advice together and see if we can just get a single vision for our community. One of the most important things that came out of our Monday's meeting and our regular session, and our regular meetings on Monday, is that at some point, our city, through the Board of Adjustments or through Planning Commission, somebody, we need to start deciding on how we want to design the city. Development, the community development, an actual plan of where houses will go, where businesses will go, what kind of businesses. We need to review that map. It's going to cost a lot of money to redo it, but we can't keep waiting on that to happen, because some people complain about certain businesses being located in certain places, but if it's legal for it to be there, there is nothing I can do to stop that. It is illegal for me to get in the way of a person putting a business where that business can go. So any of you need to take a look at what can be put in your own neighborhood, at least for now, and just kind of see if you would be disappointed if a certain type of business came to your neighborhood. If you just take care of your neighborhood for just a moment, we need to figure out at some point where we're going to get this money and how we're going to go on and design our city for future. Because you don't want a house and then a grocery store and then 2 more houses and then a Dollar Tree. You want to design that properly. We have to go back and we got some work to do. Scott, will you say something else?
Well, we did, Scott Atkins, we did spend a lot of time talking about this and moving forward. And our office is small. It's Jeanette and myself. That is it. And on top of code enforcement, helping with city beautification and things of that nature, enforcing our nuisance laws, we also have to take on all the plan reviews, building inspections, property reviews, zoning research, which took up a lot of time today. So having a community programs such as this, is going to be beneficial to everyone. The problem that we had is that one person was left on that board for so long, Ms. Sharon, who works over at the fire station, and was dedicating all of her extra time to get this done, and she was the only one. For other reasons, people got burned out. We need new people to come into the community and help us. We had some great discussion points on the phones last night with talking about incentive programs. And again, I'm going to harp back on my thing with community pride, because I think it comes down to a lot of community pride. We've got these incentive programs, and we just need some leaders in the community to step up. Representatives from each ward, representatives from each community, or a street. I'll tell you a good example, and I'm going to call out some residents on Pearl Street. You get past a certain section of Pearl Street, and you have a lot of elderly residents down there, retired women, and some of the best looking yards in the city of Camden. I enjoy driving down that road in Pearl Street, and I'm not going to call any of their names. If the ladies are watching, they really are, and had a great, pleasant conversation on the front porch in the rocking chair with me the other day. It's great, but beautiful lawns. And then you hit a certain part of Pearl Street, and you have vacant houses. You have lots with trees in them that aren't getting maintained. It's up to me to go out and track down those property owners and have those property owners held accountable. We're working on that. We're doing our absolute best. I assure you, I promise you, I'm working hard at it. But that whole street right there is a community in itself. Pearl Street in Camden, Arkansas is its own community. They're proud to be a part of Camden, but you look at those houses, you don't have to have a lot of money to take care of what you got.
That's right.
And have that community pride, and Pearl Street has it. That section of Pearl Street, and Mr. Esco, I believe that's in your ward, is a community into itself, and they're proud of it. They maintain their yards. Like I said, I sat on the porch, had a great conversation with the resident there, and sat on the back patio of another house, and had another visit. It was great. It was wonderful. I enjoy doing those things, but these are people who have community pride. So we need all of you to go out, and if you know someone, there's no limit to how many people can be involved. We have assigned positions per the ordinance that have to be filled, but there's no limit to the number of people that can be involved in an organization like Keep Camden Beautiful. And that benefits, and I don't want to take up too much more time, I know we're late this evening, but it benefits the community in so many ways, because now we make the community more appealing for businesses coming in. I am a new resident of the city of Camden. I've been here a little over a year. The first thing I did was visit the website. The next thing I did was start coming to town and literally driving around my real estate agent before I even got to the house I was going to look at. So the realtor said, nah, it's too much. Because of the yards, condition of some of the abandoned homes. Well, this benefits the town and the community greatly when you have an organization that the city phone never thought very important. When you have an organization that is working diligently to help, because we do have some residents that are at a disadvantage that could use some assistance. We also have residents that don't care about their problems. So if we have an organization that comes in and helps with these things, and I promise you, there's two of us, I don't know how long, there's two of us in our office, it is hard for me to cover the entire city of Camden in just 1 month. I do my best to spread myself out on the wards to make sure that we're maintaining properties, but having another organization that will come in and say, we got this, and step up and start encouraging that community pride, whether it's through an incentive program, yard of the month, ward by ward, yard of the month by community, whatever it may be, the possibilities are endless, and it's an opportunity for you to be involved. It won't take up, the more people have, less time will take up of it, and it will be a great help to us and every community member. So I talked too much, but that's it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
If you're interested in those next calls, please email us at onecamdenAR@gmail.com. That's spelled out ONE, onecamdenAR@gmail.com. Tomorrow night, if you want that code, you'll have to email us or call the city, and that'll be 836-6436. The Mayor's Youth Council at 6 and the Mayor's Senior Advisory Board at 7, just to start talking a little bit more about how politics works and how we can get involved at our own level. Is there anything else claim my attention tonight?
Was that 836-6436 to get the code?
836-6436 will give you the code tomorrow, or an email will get it sent right back to your email. Either way, fine. Both of them do the same thing. Yes, sir.
Two things real quick. One is I'd like to echo agreement with you regarding the need to update the city's master plan. That's what you were referring to a few minutes ago about where how homes and businesses and all that. The city does have one. I looked into it. It was passed apparently in 1980, and that was 2 years before I was born. And I'm correcting that, right?
So, absolutely.
Okay.
And I don't want to cut you off, but we do have what's called, it's not a master plan, it's called a land use plan.
Okay.
That land use plan is what is developed to let us know what we want the city to look like over the next 20 years. So that land use plan was designed in 1980 to carry us through the year 2000.
Which is when I graduated high school.
So
We're a little behind.
So, yeah.
But we may not be as far behind as we initially thought. Through the help of Alderman Lindsay actually helped me a great deal with this. I don't need to call you out for everybody, but Alderman Lindsay actually helped me out, provide me with what looks to be a map that was adopted by the Planning Commission in March of 2000, which is about the time we would be needing a new one. Like right now, we need a new one to carry us from 2020 to the next year to 24. We are working on that. Alderman Lindsay helped me out in doing that. Unfortunately, we're right now having a hard time locating, Ms. Dawn has helped me out tremendously. We're having a hard time locating any actual minutes or records that would indicate that the plan was actually adopted by the city council. So we're still digging through that. I've got a lot of people that are helping me out, and I've got other resources that I need to call and follow up on. Mr. Lindsay, expect a phone call and email from me. But we are working on that, Alderman Bell. We are. And I'm trying to bring that ahead because for those of you that don't know, I'll be happy to fill you in on what it is, but it's basically a city map, and it will tell us what we want the zones to be and what they are currently, but where we would like them to be in the future to help progress. So we are working on that. Again, I apologize, but that falls on our office, and I assure you, we are working on getting a new land use plan that will help carry us to 2040.
And the other thing, real quick, I was hoping Mr. Franklin would be here, but I totally understand why he's not. There's a canal that crosses underneath Cache, like a stream or a little creek. It's basically a storage, little drainway, drainage ditch. And apparently, back in 2004, I got a call from a Mr. Parr who lives right behind there. I hear Mr. Lindsay knows the man very well.
He's been here several times.
And, anyway, apparently back in 2004, a lot of work was done on that because it had become overgrown, it flooded a lot of houses in that area, and basically a lot of work was done, and over the years, basically once or twice a year, the Public Works Department has sent a crew into that area just to clear out the brush and just, kind of keep it under control. Well, I guess somewhere in the transition between Shamir and Kevin, that note wasn't passed on. And anyway, at some point, I know Public Works is incredibly busy, but just at some point during their, when they have some time, they need to go and see about clearing that back out so it doesn't overgrow and potentially flood houses again. So
Shoot him an email.
Yeah, I'll shoot him an email.
For accountability, and that would really help me with that. All right?
No problem.
All right, is there anything else came to my immediate attention? Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Outside fire truck.
Oh, wow. Did I skip that?
It's not on the agenda.
You won't just move it.
We got to deal with that one. Now we're going to take it outside. What he said. We're going to have to do
Make a
that.
motion to amend the agenda to include the outside fire contract.
Second.
We moved in second. We have a motion. We have one vote real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me vote real quick. All voting sound aye. Opposing vote sound aye. Ayes have it. I'm in here for a few more minutes. Go ahead.
Last year, we amended, or requested that the alderman look at amending an ordinance on the outside fire contract. And I appreciate y'all doing that. Took out some confusion and everything else. And during that discussion, we also talked about the rates that were being charged in the Highland industrial area specifically, which is outside the city and also outside the county. And I would like to have the alderman consider the matter as to